Released in 1996, it's hard to argue that the Scream franchise hasn't shifted the horror landscape throughout its blood-stained career. It revitalized the dying slasher genre, whilst being both funny and still managing to create tension. And none of this would have been possible without everyone's favourite Halloween masked killer, Ghostface. Being different to most horror villains, Ghostface isn't one person, but more of a persona, adopted by many aspiring murderers throughout the years, for a variety of reasons. From mommy issues to oh, daddy issues. See, this one is different. Good job, Ethan. These dark and twisted villains come from all ages and backgrounds, so today we're going to be ranking them from least to most evil, on a quest to final act unmask the most twisted Ghostface of them all. Hello horror fans, my name is Spookful, and let's get into our apparitional ranking of evil. Starting us off in number 13, we have the Scream franchise's evil stepmother, Mrs. Loomis. Or Debbie Salt, I guess. This murderous mother first appeared in Scream 2, and also last appeared in Scream 2. Debbie real dead. She technically only has one kill in the franchise, being Randy Meeks, who she killed because he trash-talked her son on Call of Duty. Mrs. Loomis is the mother of Billy Loomis from the first film, and that's her motive for attacking Sydney and her friends in the sequel. While she is obviously still evil, I get the vibe she is more unstable, and I guess whilst her logic is very flawed, her revenge motive is at least somewhat understandable, unlike some people further up this list. This, along with her having the joint lowest Ghostface kill count, lands her last place in our ranking of evil. Next we have a double whammy for number 12 and 11 being Quinn and Ethan from Scream 6. These revengeful roommates land themselves towards the higher end of our list, as once again they killed for revenge, which once again is very evil, but at least understandable. They also were raised by a father who apparently has a knack for raising psychopaths, having himself a 3-for-3 record. So maybe that says something about him as a parent, but they both clearly take pleasure in killing off their friends. And I guess if I had to put one above the other, I'd probably say Ethan is more evil, just because look at his big goofy cereal mascot grin he has after killing Chad. Ethan, do you have any final words?
I've always wanted to stick something in you, Tara! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Really? Come on man, be better. Not cool. Next up, narrowly breaking the top 10, we have the Ghostface who despises codependence, Roman Bridger. And you'll never guess what his motive was. Revenge. There seems to be a bit of a pattern in the higher end of this list, doesn't there? Roman ranks higher than our other angry relatives, however, as he orchestrated the murder of his own birth mother, which I would say is pretty evil. The birthday boy butcher also had less of a reason to kill than any of the others in my opinion, as he didn't have a relative killed, but was instead rejected by his birth mother. But I mean, his life still turned out good. He was a director and had a cool haircut. It looks pretty snazzy. But yeah, the whiniest Ghostface lands himself at number 10 on our list. Completing our Scream 6 trifecta in number 9, I have Detective Bailey, or Detective Kirsch, or Detective Landry. Angry detective guy. There we go. The father of Ethan and Quinn, and the killer further up this list. He lands himself a spot higher up on our tally due to going John Wick on a bunch of bodega shopping civilians, and how he raised his children to be psychopaths, which I think most parenting specialists would recommend against.
Write that down, write that down!
He attempts to kill Sam for payback for killing his favourite child. Sorry, Ethan and Quinn. In self-defense, and so embarked on an elaborate scheme to take her down. Then he failed, because Ghostfaces tend to do that. Anyway, yeah, moving on to number 8, we have the Scream franchise's certified lover boy, Charlie Walker. Now Charlie has a unique motive for his killing spree, being how he did it for love. So yeah, Charlie here had a big crush on his Ghostface partner, and that led him to killing off his friends because he's a Ghostface, of course he did. Killing off their friend group is their favourite pastime. Now being shot by Cupid's arrow is definitely not an excuse for his actions, but it's also clear that Jill manipulated Charlie, so he lands himself around the middle of the pack. Next in lucky number 7, we have the one and only Mickey Mouse from Scream 2.
Didn't see it coming, did ya?
This murderer for hire kicks off our top 7, where we are now getting into the most evil of the evil territory. An up-and-coming serial killer, Mickey was taken under Mrs. Loomis's wing and got a free college education. Lucky. Now this mouse-eared mercenary and his very tight t-shirt ends up in number 7, as whilst he is clearly evil and unstable, it seems as if he almost detaches himself from the situation, and doesn't see himself killing his friends, but more just doing what he's paid to do, which can't be said about his Ghostface buddies higher up this list.
Now who's doing that?
And alright Mickey, he seems to be very passionate about who could be above him. So let's move on to number 6. which belongs to the original spooker, Billy Loomis. The Ghostface who started it all targeted Sydney and her friends, and the principal for some reason. He's kind of the outlier there. Maybe Billy just wanted the school to be under better management. Because Sydney's mum did the romantic tango with Billy's dad, so Billy's mum left, and that made Billy angry at Sydney and not his dad. Okay, sure, you do you, I guess. And yes, if you were wondering, that does mark off the final revenge-fueled killer on our list, so that's exciting news. But Billy lands himself just outside the top 5, as he lacks any trace of morals, but at least he gives any sort of reason for his killings, unlike the top quintuplets, who all swear by Randy's ideology that
it's the millennium. Motives are incidental.
So in number 5 we have Jason Carvey from Scream 6.
Didn't see it coming, did ya?
Yeah, the other Ghostface tied for the least on-screen kills. Jason only has himself 20 minutes or so of runtime, but he gets his money's worth as he kills off his film teacher, delivers us a very disturbing speech about how stabbing his teacher reminded him of pork chops, and then gets himself killed. We get a glimpse of Jason's motive when he's on the phone with Greg's decapitated head, where he claims that they need to kill Sam and Tara to finish Richie's movie. This motive is kind of a big bunch of nothing, which actually works in Jason's favour for getting the highest spot on this list, as a killer with no motive is more scary than a 7th revenge plot. The Spider-Man obsessed high schooler comes across as very intimidating and cruel in his short time on screen, and thus lands himself at number 5 on our list. Teleporting himself into number 4, we have District 1's Reggie Kirsch. Our Scream 5 protagonist earns his spot so high on this list for similar reasons to Jason, being that, well, he has no reasons for killing. His motive is that he is very angry about the new Stab movie.
Try!
So now he needs to kill people to send the big studio executives a message, and to give them ideas on the new plotline. He wears a truly unsettling and evil smile throughout his killings, and must have used his time in Los Alamos to practice being the most whiny Ghostface to ever Ghostface. I still like him though, he's actually my second favourite. But moving swiftly on to our top 3, we have Amber Freeman. The more dominant, stronger and smarter one in Scream 5's Ghostface couple.
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better! I am better!
Amber shares a very similar motive to Richie, but with the added evilness seasoning on top, being that the people she's murdering are a close friend group, despite them not really seeming to get along at all. So yeah, basically, take the stuff I said about Richie and apply it to Amber, but add a little extra bit of evil on top as a treat. So moving on to number 2, we have the Mystery Incorporated member, pizzeria owner himself, Stu Marker. The Ghostface who did it all for fun. A large trend among our top 5 seems to be the lack of motive altogether, and Stu perfectly embodies that. Killing his own girlfriend and his peers just because it was fun, and because Billy told him to, and as Randy put it, he's a lapdog. My personal favourite of our ghosty bunch, Stu never seems to show any regret or remorse for his actions, and seems to take the most pleasure in his murders, as in our final act he doesn't seem to stop dancing and goofing around. The chaotic evil out of our Ghostface alignment chart, Stu radiates pure evil and psychopathy, but it isn't quite enough for him to steal the crown from our Ghostface Queen of Evil, Jill Roberts. This ice-hard killer couldn't be anywhere else on this list. She ticks off all the Ghostface evil boxes, having her close friends killed, check, betraying her partner, check, having a completely selfish motive, check. She wanted to get on Saturday Night Live so bad that she murdered her own mother. And not like Roman who orchestrated his birth mother's murder, this is the woman that raised her, and we never see her father, so maybe even did it single-handedly. Add on top her self-mutilation and commitment to the act that any theatre teacher would praise, as well as her hospital hostage situation, even after there was no way she could get away with it. It's no wonder she's at the top of our list. This Scream Queen did it all for fans and fame, and like, there are easier ways to do that, Jill. You could have just started a YouTube channel. You're just doing too much with this whole murder plan. So she lands herself first place in our ranking of evil. So yeah, thank you for watching my Ghostface evilness ranking. My Scream video playlist is on screen now, or YouTube thinks you'll like this video in particular for some reason. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time.
Didn't see it coming, did ya?